Erin Burnett Out Front, weeknights at 7, only on CNN.
Dean, so what do you think about how the First Lady handled the situation? It obviously, I'm looking for an appropriate word, angered her.
It angered her. This is not good. You're the First Lady. And Michelle, if you're watching, I will give you free tips on how to deal with hecklers. The first thing is you don't leave the podium. I don't care if you're First Lady or a corporate executive. You don't give up your podium to a heckler. Let them get their message out. You finish your speech, or you engage them like President Obama does great, saying, hey, let me finish my point. We'll get to yours afterwards. Or you use comedy.
And he fixes them with the icy stare.
Right, he does that. But don't look angry. Or you use humor, but it's hard for someone who doesn't do comedy. I will be mean and cutting, and it's fun when everyone laughs at the person heckling. You feel better about yourself. That's the most daring. But you can plow through it, or you can engage them. This was a small function. She's the First Lady. Be above this. Like, get your message out. Instead, it's all about the heckler and her message. That's what the heckler wanted, to get you angry and off your game.
She lost her temper. Now, Stephanie, Dean isn't the only one to think that Michelle Obama handled this the wrong way. The New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof, obviously a supporter of the First Lady, tweeted, I like the First Lady, but her confrontation with this heckler was not her finest moment. Stephanie, did this reflect poorly on her?
I absolutely disagree. You know what? I don't know what's happened in this country, Erin. You don't heckle the First Lady of the United States, particularly at a private home. That is not how you speak to the First Lady of the United States. And by the way, I'm gay. And I agree with what the activist said. There is a way to say things and a way in which to say them, Erin. And this administration, the fact is, has done more on gay rights than all the previous administrations combined. So is there a point that we get to where we go, this is just rude? You don't yell, you lie at the President of the United States during a State of the Union. I just feel like this administration has been shown unprecedented disrespect. She's not a comedian, Dean. You don't heckle the First Lady and she's supposed to have a snappy comeback.
I don't
think she's saying it's okay to
speaking. Now she looks snippy and angry, and that's what's coming out in the media, and that's not what the First Lady is about, frankly.
I think.
Go ahead, Michael.
I think what she did is, I think she looked human. And this is why the American people like the First Lady even better than they like the President of the United States. And they do, because she reacted like a human being would. Look, I am just grateful that this wasn't some kind of right-wing heckler as a conservative. And I think what Michelle Obama did was long overdue. It is completely unacceptable. I don't care what your cause is, whether it's the Tea Party or gay rights or anything else. You do not interrupt, particularly at a private session like this, a leading politician who's trying to make a point.
Right.
And for the First Lady to do this
Michael
and
Medved
basically
agree
say
on something or anything is a sign of the apocalypse. You're both wrong. The way she dealt with it was really beneath her. There was no need to do this.
I feel that a wormode has just opened in the universe. Michael Medved and I agree.
Unbelievable.
It's rude. It's rude.
All right, but hold on. Let me ask you something else though about the First Lady. About the First Lady, because she's very disciplined, but we do see unscripted moments. So she lost her temper at the heckler, and Dean may think it's inappropriate, and you all may think the heckler never should have done to begin with, which Dean doesn't disagree with.
I hate hecklers.
But what about at the inaugural luncheon? I don't know if anyone remembers this moment. I just want to play it. When the First Lady, John Boehner, was making a comment, and Michelle Obama, actually, I love this. She just rolled her eyes. There's, I mean, no, right. And then John Boehner, I mean, I just find that amazing. Again, it's a human moment. But was that a mistake? I mean, that she doesn't realize the cameras are on her sometimes? Or, Michael, do you think that's just another example of, well, that's why people like her? She'll roll her eyes at John Boehner.
I think that is, I think it was a mistake, and I think that's also why people like her. What I'm reminded of here, there was a big incident in the Truman administration where a music critic for the Washington Post named Paul Hume gave a really nasty review to Harry Truman's daughter, Margaret, because she did a singing concert. And Truman wrote him a letter, which was immediately publicized, basically threatening to beat him up. And everyone said, oh, this is so terrible. It's beneath the President of the United States.
It's totalitarian and fascist.
It was one of his most popular moments.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, you just have to react to people who are being jerks in a very definitive way, and I'm glad the First Lady did it. I've never approved of anything she's done as much as this.
Wow, well, I have to say...
Listen, Erin, I roll my eyes every time John Boehner talks, so I'm afraid they're going to get stuck in my head like my mom warned me about.
That's a totally separate conversation.